Coming up on this episode of Winning Bets, we've got the Fox Bet Super 6 Challenge for a chance to win $1,000 in the Premier League. What's up, everyone? It's Jason Mattis with Winning Bets as always. Thanks for hanging out with me on this episode. That's right, today's episode takes us to the Fox Bet Super 6 Challenge. Game locks tomorrow, Tuesday, and the contest is up for $1,000 as always. You guys know how this works. They give you 6 games, and all you have to do is correctly predict how the 6 games will unfold, win, draw, loss, what have you. Let's get on right into it. So the first game is Watford versus Norwich. This, guys, this is an interesting game. So you've got Watford in 17th place, obviously just above relegation. Then you've got Norwich coming in right there at 20th place. Norwich, if they're going to get out of relegation and stay in the Premier League next year, they obviously have to win this game. And then the following week they play West Ham. That's a game that they absolutely must win. Watford, like I said, they're sitting there in 17th. They're 1 point above relegation, so in no means are they safe. Neither one of these teams has had a win yet since the Premier League has come back and done a restart. Watford won the reverse fixture earlier this year at Norwich 2-0. So that to me suggests they're the much better team winning on the road and with fans in attendance. So I'm going to go ahead and take Watford to win this game. So I'm taking Watford over Norwich. The next game that we've got going on is Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. Look, this is a classic case of when you get towards the end of the season, you've got to be careful of, one team has something to play for and another team has nothing to play for. And that's exactly what you've got here in this matchup here. Crystal Palace, middle of the table, nothing really to play for. Players are really just, at this point, looking forward to the summer break. Where Chelsea, they've got everything to play for. They're in the hunt for, Champions League and at worst case, Europa League. So everything is on the line there for them. Chelsea won the reverse fixture earlier this season 2-0. I'm going to go ahead and take Chelsea to go ahead and win this game today, or, on Tuesday when they play. Next game on the list is Arsenal versus Leicester. This is going to be another close game. This one here, you've also got Leicester fighting for Champions League, sitting in third place. You've got Arsenal fighting. I think at this point, they're more fighting for a Europa League spot. Leicester seems like they've gotten back on track. They went ahead and won the last game 3-0 after they were struggling coming out after the break. Arsenal coming off a really impressive win there against the Wolves. I thought that was quite impressive. It was a little unfortunate. I thought, in terms of, I thought the game was going to go the other way. I thought the Wolves were going to win, but I thought that was a classic scenario of how not having fans is really impacting these games. Because I think if fans are in attendance there, the Wolves are probably able to handle Arsenal, but give Arsenal credit. They, went in there and got the win at Molineux. I'm going to go ahead, though, and select this game as a draw. I think you've got two, fairly evenly matched teams. Maybe Leicester's a touch better, but they won't have the fans on their side. So I'm going to go ahead and answer this one as a draw. Next game on the slate is West Ham versus Burnley. You got 85% of the people on West Ham right now. I'm really not sure what they're thinking in terms of that because you've got a Burnley team that's significantly better than West Ham. West Ham's fighting for relegation. I think maybe fans are reading too much into that West Ham win over Chelsea a couple weeks back. They also did have a nice performance against Newcastle, but this West Ham team just isn't really all that good. And Sean Dyche's team at Burnley, we know they're a very good defensive team. He sets them up well. I know they're going through a lot of injuries right now, but they're just a very tough physical defensive team. Burnley won the reverse fixture 3-0. So I believe maybe there is a possible edge there with West Ham because they do have something to fight for. They're fighting to stay out of, relegation and they're awfully close to that relegation spot right now, but just given how tough Burnley is, I think that they'll be able to match that, and over the course of 90 minutes, I've got that game going to draw, so West Ham-Burnley is in a draw for me. Next game on the list is Sheffield United versus Wolves. Sheffield has definitely fallen off the pace here. They were, when they did the Premier League restart, they were a team that was right there fighting for Champions League, fighting Europa League. I think if they're being honest, they've kind of fallen off a little bit here. Maybe the moment's being too bright for them. It's their first time in the Premier League in 12 seasons. They've also they've bowed out of the FA Cup here recently. And I expect a bounce back performance by the Wolves. The Wolves are definitely a European team. They're probably not going to get in the Champions League spot just because of Chelsea and Manchester United right there. But, they're a Europa League team. I love what they're building right there at Wolves. So I expect them to bounce back. I'm going to go ahead and get this win here to the Wolves. Last game, this one's Brighton versus Liverpool. We've got 95% of the people, as you can see, on Liverpool. This one's not as straightforward as you might think. And I've actually gone back and forth. And, I obviously say hopefully you guys maybe pick all the same picks I do. But even if I'm able to give you guys help on any of the amount of 6, you like my justification, I'm always happy to do that, help you out on some of, if not all of the 6 questions. But this one is just not as straightforward as what the percentages here indicate. Liverpool, since they've wrapped up that Premier League title, have looked absolutely bad. They got hammered by, obviously a really good Manchester City team. But then this past weekend against Aston Villa, they looked really bad. I was watching that game and almost going to send out a tweet at halftime that, it's shocking that Liverpool has 0 shots, at halftime, but then they ended up managing to get 1 shot just before the half ended. So I never did obviously send out that tweet. But man, just a team that is just really, really struggling. Brighton, it looks like they're safe from relegation. They've got a 9-point gap between them and the 18th spot. I think 1 point would really do them wonders. That would give them a full 3-game cushion between them and the relegation spot if they're able to squeak out a draw here. I'm really torn here on this game. I'm going to be punching myself if I've gotten the first 5 right and, how I've got this one answered if Liverpool goes on and sneaks out the win. But I'm just going to go with my gut here. My gut here said it was going to be a draw. Liverpool not playing for anything. Maybe Brighton has that little bit of extra edge. I think they go extremely defensive. They're going to frustrate Liverpool throughout the 90 minutes and squeak out a 0-0 draw, or they're very capable of getting a 1-1 draw. They're good on set pieces, corners. Maybe they can punch them on the counter if they come out playing the kind of tactic that I do. So I've got that one as a draw. So let's recap. I've got Watford over Norwich. I've got Chelsea over Crystal Palace. I've got Arsenal Leicester to a draw. West Ham Burnley to a draw. Wolves over Sheffield. And I've got Brighton and Liverpool playing out to a draw. So those are my 6 picks for the $1,000. That contest locks Tuesday afternoon when the Premier League slate goes. So go ahead, download the app, get your picks in, and let's win $1,000. I'm Jason Mattis. I've had a good time with you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching this episode of Winning Bets. I'm Jason Mattis. I'll see you again when we are celebrating the wins and making more winning bets. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more winning bets.